Alright, I'm going to teach you a little bit about the planer now. The planer is the first step of squaring a board other than maybe rough cutting the board to length. Our goal is to make the faces of the boards parallel. So here's my face. I'm trying to clean these off, make them parallel, and produce a nice, smooth, consistent surface. So this board, as you can see right now, is really in the rough. It's pretty dirty, it's dusty, it has the mill marks on it, so it's ready to get cleaned up in the planer. We have an awesome planer. This planer is almost $9,000. It was bought in 2008, and it has some really great features to it. One of my favorite features is the cutter itself. So the cutter head is in the top, and it is actually kind of in the top middle, and you'll see it has all these individual knives. So each one of these knives is pretty expensive. I think they're about $5 a piece, and there's 280 of them, I believe, in here. So we want to be really careful. If you run a board through that has a nail in it, it's going to mess up multiple teeth, and then it'll take me time to switch them out, plus it's difficult. So no nails with or no boards with nails or finish or screws in them or anything like that. So basically, as you can kind of see, we have our feed rollers and then our cutter head. So our cutter head's in the top. It's only removing the top of the board. So we don't remove the bottom of the board at all. We're only removing the top of the board. We really want to be sure that when we're taking off the top of the board, that we're only taking off a 1/16 of an inch at a time. If we take off too much, it's a lot of pressure on those teeth, and it really is hard on the machine. So over on this side of the planer is our gearbox, and we have a dial here that controls the feed rate. So if I look at the dial, it says FPM, so that stands for feet per minute. So I have it set right now at about 25. Okay, so 25's in the middle. We have 20, 30's down here, 25. If you ever did want to adjust this, the machine has to be running. Usually we just kind of leave that dial alone. But the gearbox is down here, and that's what controls the speed of the board going through the machine. Okay, so now when you get ready to plane your board, the first thing you're going to need to do is measure the board. So hopefully you know how to use the calipers. And the calipers are usually kept right here. We try to keep them up here by the planer. And you are going to calculate the thickness of your board. So I'm just going to take my board and my calipers, and I'm going to figure out the thickness of this board. Once I figure out the thickness of the board, I need to type in the exact thickness of the board. So, alright, I'm going to program my measurement now. After I measure the board, I'm going to program the exact size of the board. So right here it tells me kind of what to do if you forget. So I hit the program button, and then the question mark means your measurement. So here's my measurement. And then I hit the enter button and then the start button. So then you'll see the table move up to that measurement. And it might take a second. It might go up and down. Just be patient. It will find the measurement. Once I get to this point, if I send my board through here, it's not going to do really anything. So I need to subtract a little. So I hit this button twice until the minus comes up. This button's a multi-purpose button. It can do addition or subtraction. So I hit it twice to do the subtraction. Then I'm going to type in this measurement. So I go 0.062, which is about a 1/16 of an inch. I hit enter and then start. So a 1/16 of an inch is about all you're going to remove at one time. So then if I look at this dial a little bit, here's my emergency stop. You can't do any programming if this is pushed in. So you actually have to undo that to do any of this first. So you want to check this. This is really easy to do. You just twist the back part, not the front, the back. Just the back. It's like a split button. Alright, so if I zoom in, I just want to show you this because we have a lot of problems with kids understanding these. So I just twist the back part, not the front. You can kind of see the back part twist. Okay. So then I have my table up and table down. If your board is not going through this machine, you're having a real hard time, you're just going to hit table down. Okay, this has to be on. And you can do that when it's running. You never hit table up when the machine is running. These two buttons, you know, we only use the down really. If your board's stuck, we might use the down. We don't really use the up because if you're typing everything in, you don't need the up, okay? This is for people who like to guess, and the people who like to guess really don't turn out, their project doesn't turn out as good. So use this. If you don't know how to use this, come and get me or a friend, somebody who's already done it before, and they'll help you use it. So let's look at this right here. This is an important feature. What this does here is it raises and lowers a pressure button. All right, and if my board isn't going through very well, I'm going to lift this up, and it's going to create more pressure, and it will help pull the board through. When the board's in a rough form, that's when it's the hardest to pull the board through the machine. So you'd be better off using this than to table down, because once you table down, you've kind of wrecked your measurement and stuff. So try to use this first. A couple other safety features to remember on the planer. You never want to keep your hands off the in-feed table. This is the in-feed table, the out-feed table is back there. Keep your hands off the in-feed table. If your board is going through here and it twists, you could get pinched. You could get pinched underneath the board, you could get pinched on the sides. So it's really important that your hands just stay on the board, kind of near the back part of the board. You never push the board with your abdomen or your stomach, because if you did it, there is a chance the board could kick out this way. It's very rare. I've never seen it happen on this planer, but it could happen. So you never push it, and you always stand off to the side. You don't stand behind the board. You never put a board in this way. Okay, I know a kid who did that once. The board never came back out. When you put it in this way, first of all, it's probably too narrow now. The length measurement is 12 inches. So the minimum board you can put through here is 12 inches. But if you turn the board this way, suddenly it's 3.5. It's too narrow. So plus the way the grain is on the wood, this is the best way to put it in. This is where the machine can handle it. If you go this way, it tears the fibers and it gets shoved up into the machine. Oh, it's bad news. So board has to go through this way. Okay, this little metal guard that's beat up, I put that on here to try to help people from putting in boards that are too thick. All right, so basically, if you want this board to be a 1/2 inch, you wouldn't set this at a 1/2 inch because you can only take off a 1/16 at a time. So this board is a little over an inch right now. So if I wanted to get it to a 1/2 inch, I'm going to have to make several passes, right? So I'm going to have to make almost 8 passes to get this board down to a 1/2 inch. I would never just do it in the first pass. Really hard on the machine. Now I'm going to show you how to run the machine. Okay, I just turned on the dust collector. You don't ever run this machine without the dust collector. It creates way too many shavings. Plug up the machine really badly if you don't do that. So I've already set up my table height just now, and I'm going to keep the machine out just a little bit to start it, or the board out of the machine to start it. I'm not getting a whole lot right now. And that's okay. Your first pass, if you don't get a whole lot out, it's not a big deal. I'm just going to bring this up now. Nice and smooth in one face. I have to make the other face smooth. This turned out pretty good. I probably don't even have to run it again on this side. Sometimes when it goes to the planer, right in the beginning is the hardest part. I have to keep it flat, push it down. I do sometimes have to coax it a little bit. You will have to push on some boards a little bit to get it to grab it. So here's both faces now are smooth, and they should be parallel. So if you look down on the faces, should be parallel and smooth. Okay, I turned off the machine right here. I just tapped it, I just pushed it. You got to be really careful with the switches in here. The switches are very expensive. I just tap it, and then wait for the machine to stop, and then I can have somebody else grab it. The measurement across here is about 23 inches is what we like. You can technically put a 25-inch board through here, but man, it's a pretty close call. So I'm telling people it's like, you know, 23, maybe 23 and a half is probably the best measurement across here for the width of your board. So the maximum width is your board, we're saying around 23, no bigger than 24 for sure, really, because if you get caught in here, then we're in trouble. If it gets caught in there, it's really hard to get out sometimes.